A Kathmandu. Uncle Bing is the favourite at the moment, 6-1. A Kathmandu, Galadeka and Go Metric are 8-1. On 10-1, Sweet September, Doubly Royal and Blue Chrome, and it's 14-1 bar the 7.
So in the paddock here, quite crowded, although a lot of horses exiting now. This is going to be fast and furious, and the trouble about these big fences is that it will catch out people who can't see where they're going through other horses' faults. Now this is one of the best looking horses undoubtedly in the race, Uncle Bing, number 2, and he's top weight. He carries 11 stone 11, and he's probably earned this high weight from previous performances, although he hasn't actually won a race for 3 years now. But he has been second in the King George VI Chase, second in the Massey Ferguson, and he's just back on form now. Only 2 runs under his belt so far, 4th and a 2nd, coming back to form. He chased home Nimrodi last time out and ridden by a very good Aintree jockey indeed, John Frankham, who's had 56 winners so far this season. Well, Uncle Bing, despite his top weight, must go well because he's got some class. Go Metric and Uncle Bing, 7-1 joint favourites, and that'll just tell you how open the race is when 7-1 is the favourite. There's the other joint favourite. This is Sweet September by Tar Kogan, this one owned by Betty Meehan, and Biddy Meehan rather, trained by Bob Turnell and ridden by Andy. Well, this fellow's been slightly disappointing. He was one of the nicest novices we've seen for a long time, second to some very good horses indeed, but this season his jumping hasn't been so good. You can see the horses coming out now. This looks like Screen. Gila Decars 9-1 from 8-1. There's Screen going out, and following him there looked like Falls Road. Then we come to the blinkered Alpenstock, and then the grey mare. This is the bottom weight of the lot, Bienfait. Coming there in the cross belts, we've got Gone Out, very much on his toes and blinkered all round. You can see fore and aft blinkers there. Cabot, and there we see one of the Irish horses, Go Metric, and then the question mark of John Mulhern's colours, Tommy Carmody on board, but it'll take more than Carmody's genius to bring this one home first, I think. We can see going down now, number 27, this is Gone Out, looked quite well in the paddock, but as I said, as he came out onto the paddock, blinkered all round, and horses, this is probably for protection because horses do trail their legs through these very big fences. Gone Out has got some pretty good form of late. He's been very busy without actually winning, and he's been running mostly over 2 miles, but I don't think this extra 3/4 mile will be against him today because he has got some form over that distance. Been second to Crofton Hall of late, and that's good enough. Nevada Prince 16s now from 14-1. That's a fellow that's got an each-way chance. He's one of the Irish Raiders. And there, the grey, number 30. This is Bienfait, ridden by Richard Floyd, who's having his first ride over these fences today. And Richard could have had 3 mounts at Taunton, the safety of good old Somerset Taunton, but decided to come up here to Liverpool and try these fences out. Well, the grey is owned and trained by Bert House, in fact, for Bridget House, and this one of the several blinkered runners today. Looking a little bit big, although this mare by Le Trickle has had several runs of late, finishing third a couple of times. The form doesn't quite look good enough, but remember, some of these races in the past have produced some amazing results. The Chair is the 3rd race in this race, and that, of course, comes as a very big shock early on in the race. Usually in the National anyway, horses have gone a whole circuit before they get to it. And there is the Chair with some extra wings on them this year. You can see above the actual fence itself those little white planks just sort of funneling the horses in, because of course this has been the spot where we've had a lot of trouble in the past. But it is a very narrow fence, probably the narrowest part of the course, which gives the illusion that the fence is bigger than any others, but it's plenty big enough. So back down to the start, you can see that the horse is all looking at the first. A lot of these horses will never have seen fences like this before. So just 2 quite easy fences before they get to the Chair. I hope they don't go as fast. We have some betting for you and some results.
And it's interesting betting. Uncle Bing opened at 6-1 favourite. That's gone out 1 point to 7-1. And Go Metric, which opened at 8-1, has come back 1 point to 7-1. So we have joint favourites at 7-1, Uncle Bing and Go Metric. Kathmandu stays on 8-1. Galadeka 9 to 1. Sweet September, Doubly Royal and Blue Chrome are on 10s. On 16 to 1, we have Nevada Prince, Andy Pandy, Ballycross, Cumbria and Screen. 33 to 1 bar these.
So, but you won't be able to see a spare space on Saturday. Kathmandu, one of the favourites. Gila Dekar is 10 to 1 from 9 to 1 drifting all the time, but this is one that the Irish fancy themselves. They've a strong hand here, but of course survival is going to be the name of the game. 24, big field for this. Last year we had 23 runners. There is Kathmandu nearest to us in the light colours, number 6 by Yellow God, this one, owned by John Craig, who's a big man in the hotel business, especially in Southport and around that area. Well, this horse had some terrific form early on. He likes to come rather late on the scene, doesn't like to be in front too soon, but having been second to Roller Coaster in the Tote Northern Chase, I was rather disappointed with him at the Cheltenham Festival only 10 days ago, but that was extremely heavy ground. So as the runners still circle, being regirthed, we have some betting for you.
And we have a new favourite, Go Metric, 7 to 1. Uncle Bing has gone out to 8 to 1. Remember, it opened at 6s. Kathmandu, Giladeka, Sweet September and Doubly Royal, 10 to 1. Blue Chrome is now 12 to 1. On 16 to 1, Nevada Prince, Andy Pandy, Cumbria and Screen. Ballycross is 20 to 1 now from 16s, 33 to 1 bar.
And nearest to us, 5, the new favourite. This is Go Metric by Kalkis out of Vulgo. This one ridden by Jerry Newman. He came into the paddock with a terrific smile on his face. I don't know whether that was confident or whether someone had told him a joke, but he's a winner of 3 of his last 4 starts, this fellow, including at Navan earlier this month. He had Andy Pandy a long way behind him that day, and one of the national fancies, Drum Roan, was 3rd to this fellow, so if he wins today, Go Metric, you can start having your pounds on Drum Roan for Saturday at 33 to 1. Go Metric, a decent horse, but this ground, of course, not as heavy as he's been in of late. And there in the middle with the yellow sleeves, that's Never Rock. Never Rock, who's twice been round here before. He's trained by John Webber now, but in fact he's been with 3 trainers. Fulk Warwin had him, then his owner Geoffrey Barley, and now he's gone to John Webber. Anthony Webber rides this fellow, and he was a terrific novice. He won 5 novice chases and was second to Lanzarote before he unfortunately was killed, but has slightly gone a bit backwards since then. But he's been twice round here in the National. There's no reason why he shouldn't go round again. Go Metric 7 to 1, Uncle Bing 8 to 1. Time to join Peter O'Sullivan.
And they're running and coming to the first of the 18 fences in the Topham with Ballycross, one of the early leaders. Flitgrove well up there, so is Cumbria. On the far side as we look at them, Uncle Bing is well up there also, and Sweet September as they come down to the first of the 18 fences now. And Ballycross over in the lead, and there a faller was gone out has gone at the first. Gone out a faller at the first. They're coming down to the second now. Ballycross from Clearello and Flitgrove. Bienfait the Grey well up there with Monty Python, and it was Ballycross who landed in the lead there, and they're all safely over the second, and now coming to the chair. The fence that created such havoc in the National last year, and it's Uncle Bing over on the far side with Sweet September, Monty Python and Clearello. Then comes Ballycross, Never Rock and Flitgrove just in behind them, and then Bienfait at the chair now. Clearello, Uncle Bing and Sweet September land together from Ballycross, and Never Rock has gone there. Never Rock a faller, and Go Metric has been brought down, and there's another faller there too. Blue Chrome has gone as well. They're coming to the water with Ballycross landing in the lead on the near side from Uncle Bing and Sweet September. Then comes Clearello and Monty Python. Then on the inside is Taro, then Flitgrove and Kathmandu and Bienfait. On the outside is Screen. Then comes Lucy Parker and Giladaka. Behind Giladaka is Alpenstock, and then Doubly Royal. Then on the outside is Cumbria. Behind Cumbria is Falls Road, and then behind Falls Road is Andy Pandy. Nevada Prince comes next, and as they cross the Melling Road, it's Uncle Bing on the near side, Ballycross on the outer, Sweet September in between the two, Clearello right up with them, Flitgrove also just in behind the leaders, and we join him in the country with John Hanmer.
And Uncle Bing on the inside, disputing the lead with Ballycross, Sweet September, Clearello, Flitgrove on the outside, Monty Python's right up with them too as they jump the next, and Ballycross touchdown just in the lead from Clearello. Then On the inside, Sweet September, Uncle Bing still well there as they jump the next. And Sweet September disputing the lead with Belly Cross and Uncle Bing. Then Clearello and Bienfait and Kathmandu. Then comes Taro and Guillaume Dakar as they jump the next ditch, and Sweet September and Belly Cross took it absolutely together. Bienfait has gone there. That's the only faller at these three fences, but as they go to the next, it's Uncle Bing disputing the lead with Sweet September and Belly Cross, and let's join Julian Wilson.
Sweet September, Belly Cross on the outside, Uncle Bing on the inside. Taro made a bad mistake there, but recovered from it as they race down towards the one before Beechers. Andy Turnell and Sweet September in the centre. John Frankham taking the shortest way as usual with Uncle Bing on the inside. They're the two leaders over it with Belly Cross on the outside, and Clearella's a faller there. Clearella's a faller, but all the others are over that one as they race down towards Beechers. Uncle Bing with Sweet September and Belly Cross, and a gap back to Monty Python and Lucy Parker. Then on the inside is Doubly Royal as they come to Beechers. And over it, Uncle Bing, Sweet September and Belly Cross all over. Monty Python was a faller there, but the rest of the field over Beechers and running down towards the 23rd in the National. Sweet September and Uncle Bing still disputing it from Belly Cross and Doubly Royal and Lucy Parker. Then Gilla Jacka. Behind those is Kathmandu. Then Screen behind that with Nevada Prince, then Super Gazepta, then Alpenstock and Fitgrove as the leaders run down to the canal turn. With Sweet September on the inside now and Uncle Bing on the outside. As they jump it together, Uncle Bing's the better jumper. Belly Cross jumps up well in third place. Gilla Jacker also a good jump up in the outside with Lucy Parker and Doubly Roll. Then a gap back to Kathmandu and Screen as they come to Valentine's Brook. Uncle Bing over it from Gilla Jacker in second. Doubly Roll third. Belly Cross is fourth. Then behind that, Sweet September and Lucy Parker, then Kathmandu and Screen, then Nevada Prince as we rejoin John Hanmer.
And Uncle Bing in the lead from Gilla Dakar, then Belly Cross on the outside, Doubly Royal on the inner, then Sweet September, Lucy Parker, Screen, and Nevada Prince and Kathmandu and Flitgrove and Super Gazepta. But coming to the last ditch, the fourth from home, it's Uncle Bing going well in the lead from Gilla Dakar, then Doubly Royal is in third place, jumped into second. Then comes Belly Cross, Sweet September, Nevada Prince, Screen, Lucy Parker, Kathmandu, Flitgrove and Super Gazepta and Alpenstock. And as they come to the third last, it's Uncle Bing, chased now by Doubly Royal. Doubly Royal took it second. In third place is Gilla Dakar, then Belly Cross, Sweet September, Nevada Prince, Screen, Lucy Parker and Kathmandu, and those are clear. But as they go across the Milling Road and onto the racecourse, it's Uncle Bing, chased by Doubly Royal, Belly Cross and Gilla Dakar, and over to Peter O'Sullivan.
Uncle Bing with a two-leg advantage over Doubly Royal. In behind Doubly Royal comes Belly Cross, and then Gilla Dakar. Behind Gilla Dakar is Sweet September, and then comes Nevada Prince, and then Screen. Behind Screen is Lucy Parker, and then Kathmandu, and you can count the rest out of it as they run down to the second last fence in the Topham with the top weight. Uncle Bing in the lead from Doubly Royal, then comes Belly Cross and Gilla Dakar for Ireland in hot pursuit. As they come down to the second last fence now in the Topham, it's Uncle Bing from Doubly Royal, Belly Cross and Gilla Dakar, and these are clear of Sweet September at the second last now. Uncle Bing lands in the lead on the inside from Doubly Royal second. A mistake there by Belly Cross. They're coming down to the final fence now, and it's John Frankham who's made just about all the running so far on the top weight, and Uncle Bing in the lead from Doubly Royal. Then comes Belly Cross and Gilla Dakar under pressure at the final fence, and Uncle Bing lands in the lead from Doubly Royal. There's not much between the two. Then Gilla Dakar. Behind Gilla Dakar is Belly Cross, and then Sweet September racing towards the elbow, and it's Uncle Bing from Doubly Royal, then Gilla Dakar. They're racing into the final 400 yards now, and it's Uncle Bing being pressed by Doubly Royal. Then comes Belly Cross, Gilla Dakar and Sweet September. A furlong to run now, and it's still Uncle Bing being pressed by Doubly Royal. Doubly Royal coming there very strongly on the stand side now. 200 yards to run. Uncle Bing from Doubly Royal. Uncle Bing is holding Doubly Royal. The top weight is going to win it at the line. Uncle Bing and John Frankham win the Topham Trophy. Doubly Royal is second and Belly Cross is third. It's close for fourth between Gilla Dakar and Sweet September. And then came Alpenstock and Andy Pandy. Behind Andy Pandy was Kathmandu, and then Nevada Prince. Behind Nevada Prince is Screen. Behind Screen is Super Gazepta, and then Lucy Parker. And behind them, Cabot. Behind Cabot is Flitgrove, and Cumbria is the last to finish. And so the result of the Topham Trophy is first, number 2, Uncle Bing, owned by Mrs. John Malmay White, trained by Captain Richard Head and written by John Frankham. Second was number 16, Doubly Royal, owned by Mr. Melvin A. Nella, trained by David Gandolfo and written by Paul Barton. And third was number 14, Belly Cross, owned by Mr. T.H. Moore, trained by Bunny Cox and written by Tommy McGibbon. And very close for fourth between Gilladaka and Sweet September. But no doubt about the 1, 2, 3, and here's how the top weight won it so gallantly. Uncle Bing, as we have border incidents, 6 from home in the Gold Cup. The winner, Uncle Bing, 17-2. And John Frankham, who rides rough and tumble in the National, weighing in after saving every inch of ground imaginable on this top weight. Carried 11 stone 11, having only his 3rd outing of the season, and beat the 2nd biggest post-war field. 4 lengths and 6 lengths. The official margin. Uncle Bing by Romanier, out of a mare by No Orchids. Didn't win a race last season, had only 3 runs last season, and this only his 3rd run of this season. Colours, of course, which revive memories of that great Corinthian, Lord Mildmay, who came so close to winning 2 nationals, once on Cromwell when his back gave out, and once on Davy Jones when he was carried out at the last. His reins broke and he missed the final fence. Conceding 1 stone 10, no less, to the runner-up, Doubly Royal. A really cracking performance. The full start.
Carried on winning a lot since. And Oliver Sherwood, the leading amateur this year, he's assistant trainer to Fred Winton. He's got 21 winners under his belt, going strong with Jim Wilson chasing him on 19 for the amateur title. But this horse doesn't lose any condition at all from his races. He's fresh now from winning at Cheltenham and looks none the worse. Rolls Rambler is 9-4 favourite at the last show. Interesting from my position here at the paddock, looking at the faces of the amateur riders going around here. A lot of them are smiling, looking forward to their ordeal. It'll be an ordeal for some of them. But Oliver Sherwood looked quite confident. It's number 2, Rolls Rambler, this reeking Rambler gelding, owned by Barry Brazier, and we have some betting for you.
And Rolls Rambler, the favourite, 9-4. King Kong, the second, is second favourite, 7-2. Arigal Boy, 7-1. Sun Lion, 8-1. Linden Lad, 12-1. Cedar's Daughter, 14-1. And it's 16-1, bar 6.
So the runners now making their way out to the Hague Whiskey Hunters Steeplechase, and this has been won by some very good horses in the past. And this is a bigger field than we sometimes get. You'll remember only 4 finished in Barony Fortier, and that enabled him to qualify for the National itself. A lot of people here will be hoping to be in the first 4 so that they can have a crack at the big race itself next year. Of course, only 4 to qualify. The yellow colours there, probably. Oh, here's 16 going very fast down. That's Jolly Sweet. And Jolly Sweet looked quite well in the paddock. This is a mare by Entanglement, ridden by Alan Edmonds. He's riding very long indeed, almost riding hunting length there as he tries to get this mare back, which he's only run once this season, finished 4th then on that occasion, Jolly Sweet, but didn't really impress last year. Rather light of yesteryear, I would think, when she was quite a useful filly over hurdles. That's Jolly Sweet, 16. Going down is number 20 at fair rate of knots. This is Mount Top, and in fact Linden Lad, so doesn't get the amount of rise a lot of people do. And in front of him, in front of the yellow colours, we see Sea Swell, the horse that Prince Charles rode around Sandown Park last time out. They're under orders. Time to join Peter O'Sullivan. Come on.
And coming into what looks like a first time, and it is, Indian Scholar and King Kong, 2 of the early ones to show, with showing up there on the outside Magic Streak as they come down to the first. Horsehay Arnie right up with the leaders, 2 on the inside. Horsehay Arnie and Kit Carson together. And Kit Carson has gone there. Kit Carson a faller at the first, and Clever Prince has gone there. Mount Top has gone there also, and Exuberant has gone there as well, and Linden Lad has gone also. and it's Horse Hayani who's leading them now from King Kong as they come down to the chair fence. Horse Hayani and King Kong together from Indian Scholar. Then comes Great Crack in behind them, Lord Brown Dodder, and Horse Hayani very nearly went there but recovered well. And coming down to the water, and it's King Kong and Horse Hayani together from Indian Scholar and Great Crack, and then Sea Swell. Just the drop has refused at the chair, and over the water it's King Kong in the lead from Horse Hayani. In third place then comes Indian Scholar. Behind Indian Scholar is Great Crack, and then comes Sea Swell. Behind Sea Swell is the Norseman, and then comes Lord Brown Dodd. Behind Lord Brown Dodd is Backgammon Prince, and Backgammon Prince is leading Rose Rambler on the inside. Cartwright is just in behind the leaders, but as they come towards the Melling Road, it's King Kong in the lead from Horse Hayani and Indian Scholar, and then comes Great Crack in 4, and then Sea Swell and the Norseman and Lord Brown Dodd. Then comes Sunlan and Rose Rambler and Backgammon Prince, and that's the order as we join John Hanmer.
And King Kong and Horse Hayani, the two leaders, as they jump the next. Horse Hayani made a mistake, but he's all right. Then Indian Scholar just in behind, along with Great Crack. Then comes the Norseman and Sea Swell and Cedar's Daughter. They're all over that one safely. And as they jump the next, King Kong takes it just in the lead from Great Crack. Then Indian Scholar, Horse Hayani. Then the Norseman, Sea Swell, Cedar's Daughter, Backgammon Prince. All over that one safely. And as they come to the next ditch, it's King Kong. And the faller there was Indian Scholar. But all the rest of it appear to be jumping it safely. Rose Rambler still got plenty to do, and as they go to the next, it's King Kong from a Great Crack and the Norseman, and over to Julian Wilson.
And over that one, the two leaders, once again, the leaders all over the fence, and King Kong and Rosemary White still disputing it, with the Great Crack towards the outside of the field. Then quite a gap back to Bronze Light, and in the inside, Sea Swell, and over that one, Great Crack again on the outside of King Kong. Cedar's Daughter has made a lot of ground on the outside, and a faller there right in the inside was Horse Hayani. He's gone as they run down towards the one before Beecher's. And as they do so, up front the leaders are King Kong and Great Crack, and Great Crack made a mistake. He really reached at it, but he's got over it. That was Beecher's Brook, and the leaders all over, with Great Crack the leader from King Kong in second place. Then quite a long gap back to Cedar's Daughter. Cedar's Daughter on the outside of the Norseman, who's right up there. And as they race down towards the canal turn, is now Great Crack with a good lead from King Kong in second. Then the Norseman on the outside of Lord Brown Dodd. Then Backgammon Prince, Cedar's Daughter's on the outside. Then Sea Swell and Rose Rambler as the leaders clear the canal turn. And the Norseman's a faller of the canal turn. And Rose Rambler's just managed to avoid him. And as they race down to Valentine's and over it, Great Crack with a clear lead, and King Kong, a terrible fall there. Lord Browndott's over in second, Backgammon Prince over next. As they race down towards the next, it's Great Crack with a clear lead from Lord Browndott in second, Backgammon Prince, then Cedar's Daughter as we rejoin John Hanmer.
And Great Crack still with this long lead. Over in second place, Lord Browndott, then Cedar's Daughter, Backgammon Prince, Rose Rambler now making ground, then comes Sea Swell. Over the next, and the leaders towering. Great Crack over, still clear there, with Cedar's Daughter coming up to dispute second place with another tired horse, Lord Browndott, then Backgammon Prince, Rose Rambler, Sea Swell, then Near and Far, and the leader at the third last now. And Great Crack scrambles over it. His lead reduced now by Cedar's Daughter, then Backgammon Prince, then Rose Rambler, then comes Lord Browndott, Sea Swell, Near and Far, then Cartwright and Royal Guide, and they seem to be the only ones left. And going across the Melling Road, it's Great Crack the leader from Cedar's Daughter, Backgammon Prince, Rose Rambler and Lord Browndott, and over to Peter O'Sullivan.
Still Great Crack a long way clear. Cedar's Daughter is second. Then comes Backgammon Prince, and Rose Rambler now making significant progress in fourth place. Behind Rose Rambler is Lord Browndott, and the rest virtually look out of it. They're headed by Sea Swell, but they're coming down now to the second last fence in the Hague Whiskey Hunters Chase, and it's Great Crack being pressed by Cedar's Daughter. Rose Rambler still coming there strongly, Oliver Sherwood. Backgammon Prince still well in touch, and then comes Lord Browndott. Coming down to the second last fence now, Great Crack, Cedar's Daughter, and still Rose Rambler making very good good progress in the white cap over on the far side as we see them, and as they jump the fence, Rose Rambler in fact lands in the lead. It's Rose Rambler now in the lead as they come down to the final fence from Backgammon Prince, then Great Crack and Cedar's Daughter. So Oliver Sherwood now towards the far right of the picture, looks as though he's going to jump the last in the lead, and it's Rose Rambler who touches down in the lead from Backgammon Prince very close to him. Then comes Great Crack and Cedar's Daughter, and behind them Lord Browndard racing towards the elbow now with over a furlong to run in the Hague Whiskey Foxhunters Chase, and it's Rose Rambler and Oliver Sherwood clear now of Backgammon Prince and Great Crack and Cedar's Daughter and Lord Browndard inside the final furlong, and Rose Rambler, patiently ridden from the rear throughout, has taken it up to establish a commanding lead, to run up towards the line, to win in great style. Great Crack is fighting back for second place with Backgammon Prince, but as the winner comes to the line, it is Rose Rambler, second is Great Crack, and third is Backgammon Prince, 4 Cedar's Daughter, and 5 is Lord Browndard. That's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, with the remainder followed by Sea Swell, and behind Sea Swell was Cartwright, and behind Cartwright his stable companion Royal Guide, and behind him Near and Far, and those are the only finishers. So the result of the Hague Whiskey Hunters Chase: first, number 2, Rose Rambler, owned by Mr. Barry Brazier, trained by Fred Winter, and ridden by Mr. Oliver Sherwood. Second was number 13, Great Crack, owned by Mrs. Peggy Close, trained by her and ridden by Mr. John Porter. And third was number 4, Backgammon Prince, owned by Mr. F.H. Parks, trained by Michael Oliver and ridden by Mr. John Weston. Fourth was Cedar's Daughter. Here, once again, we review the closing stages with Richard Pitman. And what a real blinder Oliver Sherwood rode. There he is with the governor on his left, Fred Winter. The leading amateur of the season, closely pressed by Jim Wilson. The 130 winner and the first outright favourite to win at the meeting. So a happy omen this may be for Rough and Tumble, the stable's hope in the National, but Fred not at all happy about the rain-softened ground, and John Frankham apprehensive about it also. But we've known connections despondent in the past, and horses survive the handicap of unfavourable conditions. The distance is there 10 lengths and 2.5 lengths. A hat-trick for Rose Rambler, this 9-year-old son of Wrekin Rambler out of Cross Pearl by Pearl Orient. As a 9-year-old, the most favoured age for Grand National winners.
His amateur Eddie Woods. Eddie's had 7 winners so far this season, and a very capable man too. Blackwater Bridge has been placed odds every other run. Hot Tomato 11-2, Magic Tip 11-2 joint favourites. It's quite an open race. There, Blackwater Bridge and Eddie Wood still leading them out. This one carries 10 stone 5. And then a whole group of horses following on behind him. That's Chris Pimlott. He's riding Game Laddie. Then we have Royal Cacador, the number 19 there. That's This Way, ridden by Clive Candy for John George, a farmer from Gloucestershire. Selby and Alan Brown. Alan, who is the super sub for John Joe O'Neill. So Alan Brown smiling as he goes out onto the course. We have a further show betting for you.
Hot Tomato and Magic Tip are now joint favourites, 11-2. Grand Cru 7-1. Selby and Blackwater Bridge and Stone Park all 8-1. Mr. Bargeridge is still on 10-1. Tough Nut Prince 12-1. First time in the betting for Castle Arch and Cabot, 16-1 these two, 20-1 bar.
And of course a lot of the riders like to have a ride in this race because it does warm them up for the National itself. There is unfortunately only one meeting here every year, so the boys don't get a lot of chance. Brown Barman, number 9, they're going down. Rather choppy action. He has had leg trouble. He was absent all last season from the scene. And this one originally purchased by Tommy Stack for Brian Otter, and he did win quite a few races, but it's been a little while now. And Arthur Stevenson, his trainer, having quite a moderate season for him, because Arthur has topped the century on many occasions. This season he's on 29 winners. Ridley Lamb, the stable jockey, rides this one, but he'll have to improve a bit on his latest form in order to have a chance here. He last ran at Kelso and finished 5th to Solo Sam there, but was beaten quite a long way. So this, the first chase over the big obstacles, and the crowd very anxious to see who survives. And of course here Blackwater Bridge 9-1 from 8s, but here very important, the chair is obstacle number 3, and that's a big jump to be coming so early on. Number 3 there, we'll see later on, but there is the chair. It doesn't look very big from here, but you can see that it's quite a narrow part of the course there, and it makes the fence look a lot bigger. There is the ditch, and it's certainly not very advisable to land up in there. We have a further show betting for you.
6-1, those joint favourites, Hot Tomato and Magic Tip. Grand Cru is 7-1, so is Selby 7-1 from 8-1. Stone Park 8-1. Blackwater Bridge has gone out to 9s. Mr. Miles Bridge 10-1. Tough Nut Prince 12s, and Castle Arch is 16-1. Cabo has drifted to 20-1, 25-1 bar these.
So good odds if you fancy a bet, but it is of course because it must be 2 or 3 to 1 about anyone getting round here. I hope they don't go too fast. Speed is always the killer. Hot Tomato there in the middle with that black and the red in the middle. Then Magic Tip there is 2 from the right. In fact, he'll be on the right very soon with the blue cap. That by Merlin is trained by Jimmy Fitzgerald at Malton and ridden by Tommy Carmody. Tommy, who's had 60 winners so far this season. And this horse is no mug at all. He's very useful, in fact. He's had 3 wins in a row earlier on in the season, and Blackwater Bridge going out yet again to 10-1. But Magic Tip, he's more likely to be there at the finish, I would have thought. He was second last time out to Kenlis and only went down by a short head. Well, he's quite useful, as I say. He's coming back to form, and he won't mind this ground. Selby is also drifting a point to 8-1 from 7s. Down at the start, this is 2 miles 6 furlongs, of course. They jump 3 fences and then go out in the country for a complete circuit. The 3rd fence they jump is the chair. This is the most formidable fence on the course. It's on the right of the picture there in the foreground, and as you can see that there is plenty of room for loose horses to get out on either side, although there shouldn't be too many loose horses at this stage for this race. We have a further show betting for you.
Hot Tomato and Magic Tip 6-1, Grand Cru 7-1, Selby and Stone Park 8-1, Blackwater Bridge drifted right out to 10-1 with Mr. Miles Bridge, Tough Nut Prince 12s, Castle Arch 16-1, Cabo 20-1, Blackwater Bridge has just gone 9-1 again. It's 25-1 bar these.
And there on the left, standing still, number 5, walking forwards now, Mr. Malsbridge. And this is one that will really stretch them out because he's a front runner, trained by David Gandolfo, who's bought a new trilby, especially for today, in case he goes into the winner's enclosure. And this one ridden by Paul Barton. But he always goes off at a terrific rate of knots, and I wouldn't think that Paul could steady him if he wanted to, because that's his...
15 in the National, jumped once only, then they'll come out and across the Melling Road, and we'll go down to join them with John Hanmer when they do. Selby 8-1, and they're off and running to the first of the 18 fences. The grey towards the left of the picture, Mr. Watt, towards the Mr. Malsbridge leading them though. In the centre, just towards the right, Selby. As they come to the first, Stone Park, and Selby's gone and brought down Stone Park. Selby has gone, has brought down Stone Park very clearly at the first, and now coming to the second. And as they do so, Mr. Malsbridge, one of the leaders from Brown Barman and Captain Parkhill, and also well up, and a follow there, Game Laddie. Game Laddie has gone at the second. So 15 left in it now, and coming to the chair. And as they come to it, it's Castle Arch and Mr. Marsbridge from Brown Barman. Just in behind them come Cabo over on the far side, Magic Tip at the chair. Mr. Marsbridge lands in the lead, makes a bad mistake there, but gets away with it. And they're all safely over the chair. Mistake there by Grand Cru in rear, and coming down to the water now, and it's Castle Arch and Mr. Marsbridge together. From Captain Parkhill on the near side, then Magic Tip, and then Brown Barman. Then Cabo on the inside and Daviett, and behind them a mistake there by the grey in rear, Willie Watt. And as they go out into the country, 15 runners only. Mr. Marsbridge from Castle Arch in second. Magic Tip is third. Cabo on the inside is 4, with on the outside Brown Barman. Just in behind Brown Barman is Tough Nut Prince, and behind Tough Nut Prince is Blackwater Bridge. Willie Watt is the back marker, and as they cross the Melling Road, we join them with John Hanmer.
And Mr. Marsbridge is in the lead from Castle Arch and Magic Tip, then Daviett and Captain Parkhill and Brown Barman towards the outside. Cabo well up there towards the inner, and they're just about at the 5th now. And Mr. Marsbridge on the inside lands just in the lead from Castle Arch and Magic Tip, then Brown Barman, then Captain Parkhill, Royal Cacador on the outside, and then comes this way, and they're at the 6th. And that time Daviett touched down just in the lead, and Grand Cru fell towards the rear of the field. The next fence is an open ditch. Mr. Marsbridge on the inside from Castle Arch, Magic Tip and Daviett, and Mr. Marsbridge landed in front. The faller there was Magic Tip, and Willie Watts refused, and Mr. Marsbridge leads as we join Julian Wilson.
Mr. Marsbridge still towards the inside with Castle Arch over that one. The 2 leaders over. Daviett's over in third. Cabo's quite close behind them towards the inside. On the wide outside is Royal Cacador as they come down towards the one before Beechers. Still Mr. Marsbridge from Castle Arch. Just behind them on the inside is Blackwater Bridge. The leaders all over that. In fact, all of them all over that. Brown Barman jumps it last as they run down to Beechers. Mr. Marsbridge from Castle Arch, Daviett on the outside, then Cabo and Blackwater Bridge, then Tough Nut Prince, then Captain Parkhill and Royal Cacador. And close behind those comes the original favourite Hot Tomato as they jump Beechers. And the leaders all over. A bad mistake by Daviett, an amazing recovery by Daviett's rider, but they're all over Beechers and running down to the 11th fence. It'll be the 23rd in the Grand National. Mr. Marsbridge still from Castle Arch in second, then Blackwater Bridge, then Cabo. A mistake there by Hot Tomato. Behind those is Tough Nut Prince and Royal Cacador. Then the bottom weight this way. Behind that is Captain Parkhill, then Seador's Daughter and Daviett. Then a gap back to Brown Barman. Those are the only ones left as the leaders face up to the canal turn. Mr. Marsbridge over from Blackwater Bridge over second. In third is Castle Arch. A faller there was Tough Nut Prince. Tough Nut Prince down at the canal turn as they race to Valentine's. Now it's Blackwater Bridge who leads from Mr. Marsbridge, then Castle Arch, then Cabo, then Hot Tomato. Behind those is Royal Cacador and this way, then Captain Parkhill and Seador's Daughter and Daviett as we rejoin John Hanmer.
They've got 5 to jump, and it's Blackwater Bridge and Mr. Marsbridge from Castle Arch who fell. Hot Tomato made a mistake. Captain Parkhill has fallen, and they've got 4 to jump. It's Mr. Marsbridge from Blackwater Bridge, Cabo, Hot Tomato, Royal Cacador, and this way, and they've jumped the last ditch with Mr. Marsbridge just showing in front from Blackwater Bridge and Cabo, then Hot Tomato, Royal Cacador. Seador's Daughter's refused. Daviett has fallen. And at the 3rd last, and Blackwater Bridge landed just in the lead from Mr. Marsbridge, then Cabo, Royal Cacador, Hot Tomato, and then comes this way, and they're well clear of anything else. And as they go across the Melling Road, it's Mr. Marsbridge from Blackwater Bridge and over to Peter O'Sullivan.
Yes, and these are the only 6 left in it. Mr. Marsbridge from Blackwater Bridge, this way improving into third. Right up with him is Hot Tomato, Cabo on the inside, and then Royal Cacador. These are virtually the only 6 now, with 2 fences left to jump in the Topham Trophy. Mr. Marsbridge in the lead from Blackwater Bridge. Just in behind them come Clive Candy on this way. Clive trying to win his first ever race at Aintree. Just in behind them come Hot Tomato, and then Cabo. Behind Cabo is Royal Cacador. Just these 6 left in it now as they come to the penultimate fence now in the Topham Trophy. Mr. Marsbridge and Blackwater Bridge is a little between them. They land in unison. second. Mr. Marsbridge from Blackwater Bridge, then this way, then comes Hot Tomato, then Cabo, then Royal Cacador. Coming to the final fence now, Mr. Marsbridge being pressed still by Blackwater Bridge, then comes this way, Cabo behind Cabo, Hot Tomato, and over the last it was Mr. Marsbridge in the lead from Blackwater Bridge, and then comes this way, then Hot Tomato and Cabo racing towards the elbow now. Mr. Marsbridge from Blackwater Bridge. Hot Tomato is finishing well, then comes Cabo in this way and Royal Cacador. At the elbow, they've got over a furlong to run now in the Topham, and it's still Mr. Marsbridge from Blackwater Bridge this way, coming there on the stand side, but it's Mr. Marsbridge from Blackwater Bridge in this way as they race into the final 100 yards. Mr. Marsbridge from this way, who's moving into second on the near side, Blackwater Bridge on the far side. Mr. Marsbridge is going to win it, and at the line, Mr. Marsbridge wins the Topham Trophy. Blackwater Bridge has just hung on to be second from this way. In fourth was Hot Tomato, and behind them Cabo and then Royal Cacador, and then you've got to look a furlong behind to find Brown Barman, the only other finisher. And so the result of the Topham Trophy is first, number 5, Mr. Marsbridge, owned by Mr. John Rose, trained by David Gandolfo, ridden by Paul Barton. Second was number 11, Blackwater Bridge, owned by Mrs. B. Carney, trained by Fred Rymel and ridden by Mr. Eddie Woods. And third was number 19, This Way, owned by Mrs. Harriet George, trained by John George and ridden by Clive Candy. Fourth was number 1, Hot Tomato. This is the winner, Mr. Marsbridge, number 35 of the season for David Gandolfo, number 26 for Paul Barton. Paul, who rides Rathlake in the Grand National on Saturday. Here's how he won the Topham as we review the closing stages again with Richard Pittman.
And at this step...
Yes, what a fine performance this, because right up with them all the way, this son of Prince de Galles, one of the progeny of that Cambridgeshire winner who didn't get too many horses at start. Very useful game won this out of a narrator mare. Winning for the third time in his last 4 outings. In fact, come to think of it, is fourth in the last 5. And there, mercifully uninjured, Alan Brown on the far side fell on Selby at the first, and Game Laddie's rider Chris Pimlott, nearest to us, he went at the second. This is Daviett being hacked back by Hewell Davis. I get a lot of letters from part of the world you can probably guess for not pronouncing Hewell's Christian name correctly, but I can only tell you that Hewell pronounces his Christian name that way, and who am I to try any other? There's Mr. Marsbridge and David Gandolfo with this 10-to-1 winner who has compensated Paul Barton so magnificently for that second last year on Doubly Royal. Got a nasty cut there in his near hind, Mr. Marsbridge.
With the horse that pulls and jumps so well as this, he's liable to knuckle over on landing. But I know his mother Sylvia was nervous 3 hours before racing this afternoon, seeing her baby go around here. Rod Munro Wilson just coming out underneath us. And then there's Sand Willem with Jenny Hembrow there with the star and the sheepskin noseband on the horse. Well, Jenny, who's ridden in 2 Grand Nationals, and this fellow fell at the first with her 2 years ago and then got to the 19th fence. Well, she's a really tough cookie, Jenny, and it's just a shame that the horse isn't running in the Grand National, but he had lost his form a little bit. A very able pilot, and I'm sure if she can find a mount good enough, she could certainly compete in a Grand National. Coming up there on the left of those two in the hooped colours, we have Great Crack, who was second in this race last year, number 11, and he's by Cracksman. This one is owned by Mrs. Peggy Close and ridden by Jim Wilson. Grittar is 7-4 favourite now, new formula 5-1 and 10-1 bar those two. But Jim Wilson there, smiling, and so he might. He won the big double at Cheltenham. He had Willie Wumpkins there, who won for the 3rd year running the Coral Hurdle, and then took the Cheltenham Gold Cup on the horse Little Owl that he owns in partnership with his brother. But Great Crack, ridden last year by John Porter. Paul Webber in the foreground now. Paul, who is also a very young amateur, but challenging for the amateur title this year. He's very high in the list, a good rider, and we've seen him go around here a few times. The first ride he ever had was his own father's Pasquela. He's cantering across the road, setting off to the start. The course is exactly the same as the Topham Trophy, just 1 circuit and 4 fences of the Grand National fences. The points in Ireland, he's had about 4 runs, did finish second in 1, but doesn't augur too well for his chances, except that he's got a long way in both the nationals he's run in. He got to the 4th last year, so that certainly gives him some sort of chance of jumping round. Now here's a fancied one. Number 20 is New Formula, with the jockey just adjusting his goggles. New Formula, who was bred by the Swindon farmer Godfrey Burr, passed on to Tim Forster, who won a lot of races with him, now been bought and is owned by Mrs. Fiona Gray and Tessa Gray. They qualified this one with the Middleton Hunt, and Tim Walford rides him. Well, he's won his last 2. He's a big, very long, angular horse, not the prettiest horse in the race, but he has got some galloping ability. Whether he's quite the right shape to jump round here, I don't know. The runners really milling round at the start now. I should think they'll be telling Paul Quinn to get private script on the outside towards the back, because the chair coming 3rd, it certainly would be very dangerous if he decided to put the brakes on at that fence, because it's at the narrowest part of the course, and there's not a lot of room for manoeuvring if he were to put the brakes on there.
And they're away. And coming to the first of the 18 fences, Great Crack, Kite, 2 of the early leaders. Right over on the far side, Gull Vein. On the near side, that is to us, to the left as we see them, Gull Vein. And Gull Vein and Henley Fair dispute the lead at the first, and the Norseman has gone there. The Norseman has gone at the first. Great Crack now towards the right of the picture as they come down to the second. Henley Fair and Gull Vein over on the left. Kite just in behind him. Behind Kite is Dromore with Flexibility. And they're all safely over the second, though Private, just in Private Script is a little way behind him. Coming down now to the chair, Great Crack and Jim Wilson over on the far side. On the near side, New Formula with Henley Fair and Dromore. As they jump the chair, Royal Frolic makes a mistake. Private Script has gone. Private Script has gone there, and Kilton Joe also. Private Script and Kilton Joe have gone there. And here it's New Formula on the near side. Over on the far side is Great Crack, and in between horses is Henley Fair, and then Grittar, the favourite. Then comes Mauritius, then Flexibility. Behind Flexibility is Gull Vein, then Sydney Quinn on the inside, and then San Willen. Then comes Kite. Just in behind Kite is Clear Pride, and then Barator on the inside. Then Arctic Cross, with towards the outside of Arctic Cross, My Squire, and the back markers at the moment include Andy Pandy and Green Sandpiper, and also a back marker, Bally Tartar. But as they cross the Melling Road and make to the first fence down towards Beaches, it's Great Crack in the lead. New Formula over on the far side with Henley Fair, Gridar on the inside, and over to you, John Hanmer.
And Great Crack on the inside, New Formula on the outside with Flexibility. The leaders have all jumped in safely. In fact, everything's jumped in safely, with Bally Tartar in last place. And coming towards the next, Great Crack on the inside, New Formula on the outside. Then Flexibility and Henley Fair. Then comes Sydney Quinn and Grittar and Mauritius. And the faller there was Clear Pride. Clear Pride went and very nearly brought down Andy Pandy. And at the next fence, the open ditch, it's Great Crack just in the lead from Sydney Quinn, New Formula, Flexibility, Grittar. Then comes Mauritius. And Andy Pandy has gone that time, so has Bally Tartar, and Great Crack leads as we join Julian Wilson.
Great Crack, and makes a mistake, gets away with it. Griddar's right on his outside. Sydney Quinn towards the centre of the course. Towards the outside is New Formula, and just tracking that one on the outside is Flexibility as they come down towards the next. And it's Sydney Quinn who now leads. Sydney Quinn over from Gridar over in second, then Great Crack. Towards the outside is New Formula. then Flexibility, and a faller there was Burator as they race down towards Beechers. And closely grouped now the leaders. On the outside is New Formula with Track by Flexibility. Towards the inside is Sydney Quinn with Great Crack and Grittar as they come to Beechers. And over it, and Sydney Quinn makes a bad mistake, an amazing recovery. And over Beechers, they've just about all jumped it. Kite made a bad mistake at Beechers. Sandwillen is over, but they're over clear and down to the next, which is the famous 23rd fence. And Great Crack leads again. Great Crack from Grittar on the inside, then New Formula. Behind those, a gap back to Flexibility. Then comes Sydney Quinn and Mauritius behind that. Then Royal Frolic. Behind Royal Frolic, making a bit of ground on the outside, is Henley Fair as they jump the canal turn. And over the canal turn, still Great Crack over. Great Crack over from Grittar in second place. Flexibility is in third as they come up to Valentine's Brook now. Great Crack over from Grittar in second, Flexibility, then Sydney Quinn and Royal Frolic, and then Mauritius, then the Pill Garlic as they run down to the one after Valentine's, and we rejoin John Hanmer.
And Great Crack almost joined now by Grittar. Then in third place is Flexibility, 4 is Sydney Quinn, 5 Royal Frolic, then Mauritius and the Pill Garlic as they come to the last open ditch, the fourth from home. And now it's Grittar going well in the lead. From in second place, Great Crack. Third is Flexibility. 4, Sydney Quinn. Then Royal Frolic, the Pill Garlic, My Squire. Then Mauritius, Dromore, Green Sandpiper and Henley Fair. And the rest are a long way back as they jump the third last. Grittar stood back a long way but made it and still leads from Great Crack. Then Flexibility third, Sydney Quinn 4. Then Royal Frolic, the Pill Garlic making a bit of ground. Then comes My Squire. But Grittar in the lead from Great Crack and over to Peter O'Sullivan.
Yes, Grittar by 2 lengths from Great Crack, then a gap of about 8 lengths to Flexibility. Then comes Sydney Quinn. Behind Sydney Quinn is the old Pill Garlic. Behind the Pill Garlic is Royal Frolic. Just 2 fences left to jump now in the Hague Foxhunters Chase. And it's Grittar from Great Crack, then Flexibility. Behind Flexibility is Sydney Quinn. Then comes the Pill Garlic and Royal Frolic as they race down towards the second last. Dick Saunders on Grittar in the lead. From Jim Wilson on Great Crack in second. Flexibility and Martin Bosley in third now at the second last. Grittar jumps it in the lead from Great Crack, jumping it third now, Flexibility, coming down now towards the final fence now in the Hague Foxhunters, and it's Grittar, the winner at Cheltenham, trying to complete the great double. Grittar from Great Crack, Flexibility is in third, Grittar's over, Great Crack is over second, Flexibility is over third, then comes Sydney Quinn. Behind Sydney Quinn is the Pill Garlic and racing into the closing stages, and it's Grittar from Great Crack, Flexibility, Sydney Quinn as they race to the elbow. They got over a furlong to run now, and it's Grittar going to win this in tremendous style. Dick Saunders already getting the plaudits of the crowd here as Grittar strides up to the line, the comfortable winner. Grittar wins the Hague Whiskey, the Hague Foxhunters Chase. Sydney Quinn is going to be second and Flexibility third. Grittar's the winner. Sydney Quinn is second. Flexibility is third. 4 is the old Pill Garlic. Behind them, Great Crack. Behind Great Crack was Dromore, the national entry. Behind him is My Squire. And then comes Sandpiper, Green Sandpiper, Royal Frolic. Behind Royal Frolic is Gull Vane, and then Mauritius. And behind Mauritius is Sandwillen. And the stable companion of My Squire, Arctic Cross. So the 7-4 favourite returns triumphant in the Hague Foxhunters Chase. With the result, first, number 3, Grittar, owned by Mr. Frank Gilman, trained by him and ridden by Mr. Dick Saunders. Second, number 23, Sydney Quinn, owned by Mr. William J. Kelly, trained by him and ridden by Mr. Paul Webber. And third, number 10, Flexibility, owned by Mr. John Bosley, ridden by his 17-year-old son, Martin, riding here for the first time at Aintree. And fourth was number 26, the old man himself, the Pill Garlic, who's added another 18 fences to the 138 he'd already jumped here. So here is the horse who completed the famous and elusive Cheltenham-Liverpool Foxhunters double. Grittar with his young rider, Dick Saunders, getting a great cheer from the crowd. He's been in the game a long time. He's got 3 years to go for his half-century, Dick. And what a great...
Is this one? He was 6th in the National last year, but they're coming in, so we'll join Peter O'Sullivan.
They're under starters' orders. The weather has brightened just in time for the start of this 26-runner Ladbroke Topham Trophy. They're in a pretty good line. This looks like it, and they're away. And Beacon Time with Tilthammer Mill, one of the first to show, with Oak Lawn in the centre. And as they race towards the first, Temple Mills is right up with them, and Oak Lawn also, and Bonnie Sun. And as they jump the first, Temple Mills lands in the lead. Raffy Nelson just in behind him. And racing towards the second, they're all safely over the first. Coming to what will be number 14 in the National now. Temple Mills, Raffy Nelson, Bonnie Sun. And Bonnie Sun a faller there, and he's brought down Tilthammer Mill. Bonnie Sun a faller, Tilthammer Mill down, and Distemper's also down. All three coming to the chair now. Temple Mills from Beacon Time over on the far side. Oak Lawn right up with them, and Strombolus and Raffy Nelson on the near side. And over that one, Temple Mills a faller. And also Balmer Coombs a faller at the chair. And they're coming now towards the water, and as they do so, it's Beacon Time in the lead from Raffy Nelson on the near side. Oak Lawn is next. Then comes Keen Gaddy, Strombolus behind them, Captain Parkhill with Hillyway on the inside. Then that's it. Then your man behind your man on the outside is Wagner. Roller Coaster was also a faller at the chair. Godfrey Secundus is next, followed by Roman King. And as they race down now towards the Melling Road, it's Beacon Time in the lead from Strombolus, Oak Lawn, Keen Gaddy, Hillyway, Captain Parkhill and Raffy Nelson, and over to John Hanmer.
And Beacon Time towards the inside, just in the lead from Keen Gaddy and Oak Lawn. The next fence is the 5th, Raffy Nelson well there on the outside, and as they come to the 5th now, it's Beacon Time and Keen Gaddy from Oak Lawn, Raffy Nelson, Captain Parkhill, then Hillyway on the inside. They're all over the 5th safely, coming to the 6th, Keen Gaddy in the centre of the course, Beacon Time on the near side, then Hillyway right up with them, then comes Oak Lawn, then Captain Parkhill, Raffy Nelson, that's it, Strombolus, Wagner, and then comes your man as they come to the next ditch. Keen Gaddy over first from Hillyway, Beacon Time, Captain Parkhill, Oak Lawn, then Raffy Nelson, then Strombolus towards the back of the field, Flying Romany. They're all over the ditch safely and over to Julian Wilson.
And it's Keen Gaddy who rises first to that one, from Hillyway second, then Beacon Time. Oak Lawn towards the outside, and a faller there was Larkin on the outside, and racing down towards the one before Beechers, Keen Gaddy the leader from Beacon Time in second, Hillyway as third, Keen Gaddy over, Beacon Time, Hillyway, then Oak Lawn and Raffy Nelson towards the outside, then your man, and behind your man on the inside is Strombolus and Pirate Jack as the leader, and it's a clear leader, comes to Beechers Brook. The leader is Keen Gaddy, ridden by Richard Lindley at Beechers. Jumps it well, Keen Gaddy over from Beacon Time, then Hillyway. Behind Hillyway on the outside is Oak Lawn, then Strombolus. Towards the inside is Captain Parkhill as they come down to the one after Beechers, and there's just one faller at Beechers, which was Adam Free at last, and over that it was Keen Gaddy who led from Beacon Time in second, then Captain Parkhill on the outside of Hillyway, then Pirate Jack and your man, then Strombolus and Oak Lawn, then a gap back to Raffy Nelson as Keen Gaddy jumps the canal turn. Over it from Beacon Time in second, Captain Parkhill is third. Then behind that is Hillyway with your man and Pirate Jack and Oak Lawn, then Strombolus and Raffy Nelson, then Davitt, and behind that is Wagner as the leaders jump Valentine's Brook, and the clear leader is still Keen Gaddy from Beacon's Time. Then Captain Parkhill and your man and Hillyway and Pirate Jack as we rejoin John Hanmer.
Over the 5th from home, in the lead from Captain Parkhill second, then Beacon Time is third, your man 4, Hillyway 5, Davitt 6, then Pirate Jack 7, Strombolus 8. The leader at the last ditch 4 from home, Keen Gaddy over safely from Captain Parkhill, Beacon Time. Then your man and Hillyway, Raffy Nelson, Pirate Jack, Oak Lawn, Strombolus, Davitt and Wagner. And they're clear of Godfrey Secundus at the third last. Keen Gaddy not so far in front now of Beacon Time, Captain Parkhill. Then your man. Behind your man is Hillyway, then Raffy Nelson, Pirate Jack, Davitt, Strombolus. Then Oak Lawn and Wagner, and a long way back to Godfrey Secundus and over to Peter O'Sullivan.
So nearly 6 furlongs to run, 2 fences left to jump, and Keen Gaddy being pressed by Beacon Time and Captain Parkhill. Then quite a gap to Your Man, who's being chased by Hilly Way, with then Daviat and Raffy Nelson behind them. Coming down now towards the second last in this Ladbroke Topham Trophy. Beacon Time on the inside, Keen Gaddy, Captain Parkhill, then Your Man, behind them Hilly Way, Raffy Nelson and Daviat. At the second last now, Beacon Time lands just in the lead. Captain Parkhill made a mistake there. It's Beacon Time from Keen Gaddy in second, Captain Parkhill third, Your Man is fourth. This is the final fence now. Beacon Time in the lead from Keen Gaddy and Captain Parkhill. Beacon Time lands in the lead from Keen Gaddy second, Captain Parkhill third. Your Man has just jumped it in fourth. Behind him comes Daviat, and behind Daviat is Hilly Way, and then comes Raffy Nelson racing towards the elbow, and it's Beacon Time from Keen Gaddy. Keen Gaddy coming to try and challenge again. Captain Parkhill is in third, got a furlong to run now, and it's Beacon Time from Keen Gaddy and Captain Parkhill. Still Beacon Time from Keen Gaddy. Keen Gaddy still trying valiantly to get on terms and getting near all the time. But Beacon Time is going to hold him, and he wins the top, and Beacon Time is the winner. Keen Gaddy is second, and Captain Parkhill third. They're the 1, 2, 3, 4 is Your Man, and behind him came Daviat and Wagner and Lucky Call. Behind Lucky Call was Hilly Way, and then Pewter Spear and Oaklawn and Godfrey Secundus, and that's it, and Brummy Bank and Strombolis. And behind Strombolis was Pirate Jack. Pulled up was Raffy Nelson, and the last to finish in the Aldeniti colours was Flying Romany. And so the result of the 1982 Ladbroke Topham Trophy. First, number 6, Beacon Time, owned by Lieutenant Colonel R.S.G. Perry, trained by Fulk Warwin and ridden by Kevin Mooney. Second was number 8, Keen Gaddy, owned by Mr. Ian Single, trained by Nick Gaisley, ridden by Richard Lindley. And third, number 24, Captain Parkhill, owned by Mr. R.A. McLean, trained by Brian McLean and ridden by Chris Grant. Fourth was number 19, Your Man. And so looks like a first timer, these 12 runners. 18 fences to be jumped, as in the Topham, and Mauritius is the first to show as they jump off. Mauritius from Colonel Heather and New Formula as they come to the first. New Formula looks as though he's just going to land in the lead. New Formula lands in the lead, and Great Case has gone there. Great Crack has gone there. Great Crack, a faller at the first. The horse is up all right. Rider just getting to his feet, and they come to the second. New Formula, Sidney Quinn and Caudwell Case. Mauritius just in behind them. Rose Rambler over on the far right of the picture as we see them now, and they're racing towards the chair. Caudwell Case and New Formula from Sidney Quinn and Rose Rambler and Mauritius, and behind them Barleydale and Brewster and Colonel Heather. And a mistake there by Gale Warning, but he got away with it. Even Stephen is some way in rear, coming to the water now. And it's Caudwell Case and New Formula from Sidney Quinn and Rose Rambler and Brewster and Mauritius, and behind them Colonel Heather. Then Barleydale on the inside, Gale Warning. Behind them Lone Soldier, and last is Even Stephen, somewhere behind the remainder as they swing left-handed, go down towards the Melling Road. It's Caudwell Case in the lead from New Formula. Rose Rambler on the inner with Sidney Quinn, and then comes Brewster on the outside. Then Colonel Heather and Mauritius. Behind them Lone Soldier, and then Barleydale. Behind Barleydale is Gale Warning, and last is Even Stephen, and over to John Hanmer.
And Caudwell Case showing just in the lead from New Formula, just behind the leaders Brewster and Sidney Quinn, then Barleydale. But coming to fence number 5, Caudwell Case and New Formula, then Colonel Heather getting closer on the outside. Caudwell Case on the near side, then New Formula and Brewster, and Colonel Heather has fallen on the outside. He's up quickly, his jockey just getting up, and as they go to the 6th, Caudwell Case on the near side, New Formula on the far side, then Mauritius, Brewster, Sidney Quinn all close up. Rose Rambler right there on the inside, much closer than he was when he won 2 years ago, as they come to the second ditch. New Formula from Sidney Quinn, Caudwell Case, Rose Rambler. Rose Rambler jumped that well on the inside. The back markers Barleydale, Lone Soldier, and behind Lone Soldier Gale Warning, and last of all, still some lengths behind, is Even Stephen as we join Julian Wilson.
And over that, New Formula again, and Tessa Gray having a great ride, and the inside Caldwell Case, and between those two are Sydney Quinn. Mauritius is there towards the outside with Brewster and Barleydale, switched to the outside now by Joey Newton. But as they come to the one before Beechers, the leader over it is New Formula, disputing it with Caldwell Case, and between those two is Brewster and Sydney Quinn. Towards the outside is Mauritius with Barleydale. Tracking those on the rails on the inside is Rose Rambler with Lone Soldier and Gale Warning as the leaders come to Beechers. And at Beechers Brook, it's New Formula on the outside of Caldwell Case, and a bad mistake by Sydney Quinn, but a brilliant recovery, and they're all over Beechers with Caldwell Case now the clear leader, from New Formula in second, Brewster third. Rose Rambler has slipped through on the inside to take third place, and Sydney Quinn behind those with Lone Soldier as they jump the one after Beechers, and all over that with New Formula back in the lead again from Caldwell Case and Rose Rambler now third. Brewster is fourth, then Lone Soldier and Sydney Quinn, then Mauritius and Gale Warning, then Barleydale, and then Even Stevens. And over that it was Rose Rambler who jumped through on the inside, but New Formula still leads from Caldwell Case and Rose Rambler, then Brewster and Sydney Quinn, then Lone Soldier and Gale Warning as they jump Valentine's. And over Valentine's, they're all over it with the leader, New Formula, from Rose Rambler and Caldwell Case, then Brewster and Lone Soldier, then Sydney Quinn and Gale Warning and Even Stephen, Mauritius and Barleydale as they jump the next, and we rejoin John Hammer.
And they've got 4 to jump now. New Formula in the lead from Caldwell Case. In third place is Brewster. Just in behind Brewster, Rose Rambler tucked in on the inside, then Sydney Quinn as they jump the last ditch. And they're all over that safely with Barleydale the back marker, and they've got 3 to jump. New Formula in the lead, Rose Rambler disputing second place on the inside of Caldwell Case. Then comes Brewster, and then Sydney Quinn. Behind Sydney Quinn, Lone Soldier, then Mauritius, then Even Stephen getting closer, then Gale Warning and Barleydale. And as they cross the Melling Road with 2 to jump, it's New Formula in the lead from Rose Rambler, Caldwell Case, Lone Soldier and Brewster as we join Peter O'Sullivan.
Still New Formula from Rose Rambler. Then Brewster on the outside of Lone Soldier, and Gale Warning coming there very strongly just in behind him. Even Stevens there, so is Mauritius, and so is Sydney Quinn, and still an open race. Rose Rambler towards the right of the picture, and Jim Wilson. Tessa Gray on the outside on New Formula. Lone Soldier coming through on the inside now of Jim Wilson to deliver a very powerful challenge, and it's Lone Soldier and Rose Rambler now together. Gale Warning towards the outside. Rose Rambler landed fractionally in the lead there from Lone Soldier. It's Lone Soldier on the right of the picture, on the left with his white face, Rose Rambler, a little between the two as they come down to the final fence in the Hague Whiskey Foxhunters. Lone Soldier and Rose Rambler, and Lone Soldier landed in the lead there from Rose Rambler second. Gale Warning is third. Behind them come New Formula, and it's Lone Soldier now from Rose Rambler as they race into the closing stages. Racing towards the elbow now, Lone Soldier from Rose Rambler. Rose Rambler is not done with his fighting back. Lone Soldier on the far side, they've got a furlong to run. Rose Rambler still trying to make ground on the near side, but it's Lone Soldier from Rose Rambler as they race up towards the line, and Lone Soldier is holding Rose Rambler, and he's going to win it, and as they come to the line, Lone Soldier wins the Hague Whiskey Foxhunters Chase. Second was Rose Rambler, third Gale Warning, 4 Sydney Quinn, and 5 Even Stevens. Then New Formula behind him, Caldwell Case, and then Brewster and Mauritius and Barleydale were the 2 other finishers. And so the result of the Hague Whiskey Foxhunters Chase of 1982 is first, number 9, Lone Soldier, owned by Mr. John Docker, trained by him and ridden by Peter Greenall. Second was number 1, Rose Rambler, owned by Mr. Barry Brazier, trained by Fred Winter, ridden by Mr. Jim Wilson. And third was number 7, Gale Warning, owned by Mr. John Dudgeon, trained by him and ridden by Alexander Dudgeon. Fourth was number 12, Sydney Quinn. That was the result. Here's how. And Peter Greenall and Lone Soldier getting a great reception. He's been champion amateur, of course, Peter, and now he's trying to complete a very unusual feat by being the leading point-to-point rider as well, which is probably without precedent. A cracking finale. As Richard said, I can't really see Rose Rambler turning out again in the National. I've just been given quotes here from Corals and Hills that he's 33 to 1. Well, I certainly wouldn't want to take that at the moment, because he's had a hard race, really, for a horse that had been out of action for so long. It was a very, very fine performance. And it shows, doesn't it, that they can come back, and it just gives me a cue to wish the chairman of Hague Whiskey, Michael Henderson, a quick come back to, because Michael lost a leg in a shocking accident in January, and I gather that he's working his way very, very well back towards total mobility. And let's have, that won't be too long, Michael. A really fine finale to this traditional chase on the opening day of this great festival. Climaxed on Saturday, when I think we'll probably find that Fred Winter and Barry Brazier will decide that Rose Rambler's done enough, and I don't think we'll find him competing. But of course that's mere conjecture, mere personal opinion. Lone Soldier, a 10-year-old by Normandy, out of all alone, winning for the first time this season on his 5th outing in this sphere, and the starting prices as follows.
First number 9, Lone Soldier, 25-1. Second number 1, Rolls Rambler, 6-4 favorite. And third number 7, Gale Warning, 14-1. First Lone Soldier, 25-1. Second Rolls Rambler, 6-4 favorite. And third Gale Warning, 14-1. Jackpot number.
The orange colours going away from us. And we have some more betting.
Churchfield Boy, 5-1. Brave Jack, 11-2. Combi and St. Taffy, 8-1. Man Alive is 14-1 now. And on 16-1, 3 of them, Ballyhampshire, Tepolino and Pirate Jack. Hilly Way is 18-1 from 16s. Nicky Tam and Wilburine, 20-1. Wilburine is shot out in the betting from 16s. 25-1 bar.
So the money is for Brave Jack. They're in from 7s to 5.5-1. This horse, who has run particularly well this season without actually winning. Well, wouldn't this be a marvellous race for him to win? This race, of course, qualifies them for next year's National, anyone that finishes in the first 4. And they're in the quartered colours. In fact, we just missed him. They're standing still there. This is Durham Lad, trained by Bob Champion for his mother-in-law. He says that she's far from the most difficult of his owners and far better than most mother-in-laws go. He's very pleased to be training this one for her, and he really fancies it. It ran behind Brave Jack last time out, and with a bit of luck, ought to be thereabouts. Churchfield Boy, 5-1 favourite. Brave Jack, 11-2. St. Taffy, 8-1. Cumby, 8-1. 12-1 bar. There is Brave Jack just walking away from us now on the left of the picture. Yellow cap and the dark vest. Brave Jack, that's the one for the money, and trained by Pam Sykes, who's a very able trainer. She's had a quiet time of late because horses were a bit virused, but they're back, and so let's join Peter.
And they're running, and these 19 runners with 18 fences to jump, and the first they come to in the Topham will be number 13 in the Grand National. And forcing the pace is Churchfield Boy from Nicky Tam and Man Alive, with St. Taffy on the inside as they come to the first. Nicky Tam and Ballyhampshire, and Churchfield Boy a faller at the first. Churchfield Boy has gone at the first fence. The horse is up all right, continuing riderless. His rider's just got to his feet. Nicky Tam, who has to go to the front or he loses interest, has in fact hit the front now as they jump the second. From Ballyhampshire in second, then comes Man Alive. Behind them comes St. Taffy. Behind St. Taffy is Oak Lawn, and then General Rock, and then comes Major Knight and Tipolino and Wilburine, and they're coming down now to the chair, which will be number 15 in the Grand National. One of the most daunting fences on the course, with Nicky Tam in the lead from St. Taffy and Ballyhampshire and Oak Lawn and General Rock, and follow there Ballyhampshire. Ballyhampshire has gone, and so's Durham Lad. Ballyhampshire and Durham Lad have both gone, and coming now to the water with Nicky Tam taking him along from General Rock and St. Taffy and Tipolino. Nicky Tam has been forced out there. His rider's on the floor. He's up on his feet, so they're being preceded now by riderless horses as they go out in the country, with General Rock in the lead now from Tipolino, Oak Lawn, and then St. Taffy on the inside. Pirate Jack right up with them, and as they run down towards the Melling Road, St. Taffy has gone to the front on the inside. On the outside is General Rock. Between horses is Oak Lawn, with Pirate Jack next, and then Major Knight, and behind them Tipolino. Then behind them come Major Tip, and behind Major Tip is Magic Tip rather, is Green Dolphin. And as they run down to this fence, it's over to you, John Hanmer.
And in the centre of the course, it's General Rock and Tipolino. On the near side, St Taffy, Oaklawn, Pirate Jack, the grey Man Alive right up with them, and in fact almost landed in the lead. They're all over that safely, and coming to the next, Man Alive, the grey from Tipolino, General Rock, then Magic Tip, Oaklawn, St Taffy on the inside as they jump the next. Man Alive over first. Again, they're all over safely. Hillyway, the back marker, and coming to the big ditch right in front of me. It's Man Alive, Tipolino, General Rock, Magic Tip, Pirate Jack, Oaklawn, then Moonlight Express. Behind, and the faller there was Magic Tip. Magic Tip, the only one to go. The last two over it, a Royal Friend and Hillyway going to the next. Man Alive, Tipolino, General Rock, Pirate Jack, and Moonlight Express as we join Julian Wilson.
Man Alive over that one clear. He fell at the last in last year's National, but he's giving Neil Doughty a marvellous ride here. Towards the outside is Tipolino with General Rock, and Moonlight Express towards the inside is Pirate Jack as they come to the one before Beechers. And Man Alive is over from Pirate Jack and Tipolino, and on the outside General Rock, and they're all over that one as they run down towards Beechers, with Man Alive the leader, from Pirate Jack in second, Tipolino third, then General Rock behind that, then a gap back to Moonlight Express and St Taffy and Brave Jack as Man Alive jumps Beechers. Man Alive over from Tipolino, Pirate Jack and General Rock, and they're all over Beechers, all the leaders. Hillyway makes a bad mistake at the back but gets away with it as they come down to the 11th fence in this, the 7th in the Grand National, and Man Alive jumps it clear from in second place. Pirate Jack, Tipolino is third, General Rock behind that and St Taffy, then Green Dolphin and Cumby still going well, then Wilburine and Brave Jack going past him, then Moonlight Express and Oaklawn, and behind Oaklawn is Major Knight as the leader comes to the canal turn and makes a bad mistake but gets away with it. And the leaders all over the canal turn, with Man Alive now joined in the lead by Pirate Jack. Then comes Tipolino and St Taffy and Green Dolphin, and behind that is Brave Jack still making ground, and they jumped Valentine's there, and Pirate Jack just fractionally leads over it from Man Alive in second, Tipolino third, St Taffy and Green Dolphin and Brave Jack and Moonlight Express and General Rock as we rejoin John Hammer.
And they've got four to jump, and it's Man Alive and Pirate Jack from Tipolino, General Rock, St Taffy come by, then Green Dolphin, then Brave Jack. Royal Friend has been pulled up. Over the next, Man Alive from Pirate Jack, Tipolino, General Rock, then St Taffy, Moonlight Express and Brave Jack. Then come by Green Dolphin, Major Knight and Wilburine, and Oaklawn has refused. Hillyway's tailed off, and this is the third last, and Man Alive's run out. Man Alive ran out at that, and that leaves Pirate Jack in front of Moonlight Express, Tipolino, then St Taffy, Brave Jack, Major Knight, General Rock come by, Wilburine, then Green Dolphin and Hillyway, and back to Peter O'Sullivan.
Pirate Jack in the lead from Tipolino, then comes Moonlight Express and St Taffy behind them. Major Knight and still improving is Brave Jack and getting right on the heels of the leaders. General Rock comes next. Behind General Rock is Cumby, and the rest are virtually out of it. Racing now towards the second last fence in this Kaltenberg Pills, and it's Tipolino in the lead, being pressed by St Taffy, Moonlight Express, then Major Knight, then Brave Jack. Coming down to the second last now. Tipolino from St Taffy, Major Knight, Brave Jack, Moonlight Express, Cumby at the second last. Tipolino lands in the lead from Major Knight, a faller there. Major Knight has gone, left Tipolino clear of St Taffy and Brave Jack as they come down to the final fence. Tipolino in the lead is Wilder looking over his right shoulder. Looks as though he's only got to jump, although he's got a long way to run from the fence. Tipolino lands in the lead. St Taffy jumps it second. Brave Jack jumps it third. Cumby jumps it fourth. Racing towards the elbow in the Kaltenberg Pills, and Tipolino is clear of St Taffy, Brave Jack, Cumby and Moonlight Express. Coming to the elbow now with a furlong to run in the Kaltenberg Pills, and Tipolino still being pressed by this strong finisher, always St Taffy. But it's Tipolino still. St Taffy coming right over to the stand side as he swerves under pressure. Tipolino on the far side. St Taffy beginning to get up on the near side. It's Tipolino on the far side. St Taffy on the near side as they come to the line. Tipolino's going to hold him at the line. Tipolino wins the Kaltenberg Pills. St Taffy is second and Cumby third. Brave Jack four. Five behind them comes Moonlight Express, and then Hillyway and General Rock, and behind General Rock was Wilburine, and then Pirate Jack, and the only other finisher is Green Dolphin. And so the result of the Kaltenberg Pills, the first running of this former top of Chase. First, number 13, Tipolino, owned by Mrs. B.D. House, Mrs. Birdhouse, trained by Kevin Bishop and ridden by Hugh Davis. Second was number 2, St. Taffy, owned by Mrs. L.M. Drescher and Mr. P.J. Drescher, trained by John Webber and ridden by Anthony Webber. And third was number 9, Kumbi, owned by Mr. D.A. Lunt and Mr. Tom Webster, trained by Ginger McCain, Donald McCain, right here at Southport, and ridden by Reg Crank. Fourth was number 12, Brave Jack. Here's how they came into the second last as we review it with Richard Pittman.
Several of the...
Yes, they're being told to come in. Gale Warning 15-2 from 8-1, and they're away, and Ross Poldark is the first to show. Ian Balding from Roman General as they race towards the first of the 18 fences in the Foxhunters. Ross Poldark, Roman General, Royal Dust just in behind him, Glen Carey towards the outside. As they jump the fence, Ross Poldark lands in the lead, and a faller there is False Bay. False Bay has gone at the first. He's continuing riderless. His rider is yet to rise yet, coming down to the second fence now. Ross Poldark from Roman General. Royal Dust and Glen Carey and Aha Clear and Gale Warning and King Weasel. And now to the chair. Roman General from Ross Poldark as they come to the chair, a little between the two. Royal Dust is third. Ross Poldark, sheepskin noseband over on the far side. Roman General nearest to us, and Ross Poldark very nearly went there at the chair as they come down to the water. Roman General from Ross Poldark, then Royal Dust and Aha Clear at the water. Ross Poldark on the far side lands in the lead from Roman General. Royal Dust next and Aha Clear. Then Gale Warning behind them. Glen Carey and King Weasel is last, and these two leaders making it a real strong gallop. Ross Poldark on the inside of Roman General. Then comes Royal Dust, Aha Clear, Gale Warning, Glen Carey and King Weasel. And as they race down towards the Melling Road, it's Brod Munro Wilson on the outside of Ian Balding. As they run down to the Melling Road, Ross Poldark and Roman General from Aha Clear for Ireland, and over to John Hanmer.
Ross Poldark on the inside as they cross the Melling Road. Roman General up with him. Quite a gap to Aha Clear on the inside, then Royal Dust, Gale Warning, King Weasel and Glen Carey as they come to what will be the first national fence on Saturday, and Ross Poldark touchdown just ahead of Roman General, then Royal Dust, then Gale Warning, Aha Clear right on the rails. Unusual for a horse to race so close to those rails as they jump the next, and Ross Poldark jumps it well. Roman General second, Aha Clear on the inside is third, then Royal Dust, Gale Warning, then King Weasel and Glen Carey as they come to this big ditch right in front of us here, the seventh fence, and Ross Poldark led, but Aha Clear on the stands rails is right up almost with him. Roman General in the centre, then Royal Dust and Gale Warning close up, a gap to King Weasel and Glen Carey as we join Julian Wilson.
Ross Poldark over from Gale Warning now in second. Right under the rails is Aha Clear. Royal Dust is close. Roman General's lost a little bit of ground. Then Glen Carey and King Weasel as they come to the one before Beechers. And Ian Balding having an exciting ride on Ross Poldark. Jumps that one well. Gale Warning just on the inside of him. Aha Clear's right under the rails. Then Royal Dust towards the outside, Roman General. And these five are clear of King Weasel and Glen Carey as the leaders come to Beechers Brook. Ross Poldark with a lead of 2 lengths at Beechers. Ross Poldark over. And all the leaders are over it. In fact, all 7 are over it. And Ross Poldark still leads from Aha Clear on the inside of Royal Dust and Gale Warning. On the outside is Roman General, then Glen Carey and King Weasel as they come to jump the next, the plain fence, and all over that one. And King Weasel jumped it a little bit slowly. But Ian Balding and Ross Poldark sees Willie Mullins come up on his inside with Aha Clear. They're 3 or 4 lengths clear from Gale Warning and Royal Dust and Roman General as they come to the canal turn. And over it, and Aha Clear a little bit slow in the air, and Ross Poldark comes out of it in front with Gale Warning on the outside of Aha Clear, then Roman General and Royal Dust, then Glen Carey and King Weasel as they come to Valentine's Brook. And a brilliant jump there by Aha Clear on the inside, Ross Poldark on the outside, Gale Warning in between these two, then Roman Warrior and Royal Dust, and then Glen Carey and King Weasel as we rejoin John Hanmer.
And Gale Warning and Ross Poldark from Aha Clear and Roman General. Then comes Royal Dust, Glen Carey, and last is King Weasel. And they've got 4 to jump. They're coming to the last open ditch. Gale Warning from Ross Poldark, Aha Clear, Roman General. Then a gap to Royal Dust and Glen Carey. over the last ditch. They're all over except for King Weasel, who's just jumped it now. And going to the third last, it's Gale Warning by a neck from Ross Poldark. They're closely followed by Roman General and Aha Clear, the third last. A mistake by Gale Warning, a mistake by Roman General, and Ross Poldark leads, but Aha Clear going up on the inside. They're all over that, and Aha Clear on the inside, Gale Warning in the centre, Ross Poldark on the outside, then Roman General. They're clear of Royal Dust, Glencarry and King Weasel as we join Peter O'Sullivan.
It's Aha Clear at the moment for Ireland from Ross Poldark on his outside. Gale Warning right in touch with them, and breathing right down these three necks is Roman General. Behind Roman General, Royal Dust is making quite significant progress. Racing now towards the second last fence in the Foxhunters, and wide open it is. Aha Clear, Gale Warning and Ross Poldark. There's very little between them. Ross Poldark in the sheepskin noseband nearest to us. Gale Warning in the centre, and Aha Clear over on the far side. Aha Clear with the advantage. They come to the second last. Aha Clear, Gale Warning and Ross Poldark at the second last fence. Aha Clear from Gale Warning and Ross Poldark, and they're racing towards the final fence now. Aha Clear on the right of the picture, Ross Poldark on the left. In between horses is Gale Warning. These three now. Roman General is 4 and Royal Dust 5 at the final fence. Gale Warning and Ross and Aha Clear together. Ross Poldark still trying to make ground towards the stand side. It's Gale Warning, and over on the far side Aha Clear. Aha Clear with the advantage now from Gale Warning, Ross Poldark and Roman General as they race to the elbow. It's Aha Clear and Willie Mullins well clear now of in second place Gale Warning, and then comes Roman General finishing fast to Pippi and Balding for third, but as they race up towards the line, Aha Clear is going to win the Foxhunters in great style, and as they come to the line, Aha Clear wins the Hague Foxhunters Chase. Second is Gale Warning, third is Roman General, fourth is Ross Poldark, 5 will be Royal Dust, and behind them King Weasel and Glencarry. And so the result: first number 2, Aha Clear, owned by Mrs. D. Hare, trained by Paddy Mullins and Ireland.
Havoc in that.
And over to Peter O'Sullivan.
And they're being called in, the 23 runners for the Canterbury Pills. And for the benefit of my colleagues out in the country, no colour changes among the 23 runners, so 17 less than there will be in the Seagram Grand National on Saturday, and one of those in the centre still involved in the National 14ers Express. This looks a pretty good line, and they're away. Man Alive just dwells a little bit, and Wilburine is one of the first to show, with Ambermont and Fabulous in the centre, and Bashful Lad right over to the left of the picture, with Haddajar tracking him as they come to the first of the 18 fences. And Bashful Lad, just the leader at this one. Bashful Lad lands in the lead from Ambermont and Wilburine, and Man Alive a faller there. Man Alive has gone at the first. John Joe O'Neill just getting up. Man Alive himself is all right. Coming to the second now, another plain one. And it's Wilburine in the centre, Bashful Lad right up with them there. On the inside is Double Jack. They're running down to the chair now. This is number 15 in the National, and one of the most daunting fences, of course, on the course. And over on the far side, it's Staccato. Tilthammer Mill has been pulled up. Staccato on the far side, Double Jack in the centre, Bashful Lad on the near side as they jump that one. And a bad mistake there by Late Night Extra, but he gets away with it. Coming down to the water, Double Jack and Staccato, with on the near side Bashful Lad, and then Wilburine and Greenways and Ambermont. Then comes Haddajar and Fabulous as they jump the water, and they're all safely over the water. Late Night Extra still jumping slowly, and as they swing left-handed to pass the Grand National start, it's Double Jack with going wide, Bashful Lad on the outside, Staccato's on the inner, being followed by Wilburine and Fabulous. Then comes Ambermont, then comes Greenways. Just in behind Greenways is Staunton, with John Frankham on the rails as usual. Artie Marvel's on the outside, and as they run down towards the Melling Road, it's Staccato on the inside of Double Jack on the outer. On the very far side, Artie Marvel with Bashful Lad and Wilburine, then over to John Hanmer.
And Staccato and Wilburine. Then on the outside is Bashful Lad. Double Jack still right up with them, and this is the 5th. And Bashful Lad was over just in the lead from Artie Marvel, Double Jack, and then 14ers Express not far behind them as they come to the 6th. And Artie Marvel landed just in the lead from Double Jack. Then on the outside, Bashful Lad, Staccato on the near side as they come to the second open ditch, and Artie Marvel from Staccato. And Cloncormick has fallen there, and he badly hampered Late Night Extra, who cannoned into him. And as they go to the one after the ditch, it's Staccato in the lead, and over to Julian Wilson.
Yes, Staccato leads, and Double Jack made a mistake there, nodded, but he's got away with it. Tipolino's tailed off at present, and Late Night Extra is way back as they come down to the one before Beaches, and Staccato still leads. Staccato over from Fabulous, Artie Marvel and Double Jack, and a faller there was Staunton. John Frankham is on the floor, but all the others over as they come down to Beaches Brook, with Staccato leading from Fabulous and Artie Marvel and Double Jack and Hadjar and Wilburine and Fortina's Express at Beaches Brook. And first to rise at Beaches is Staccato, and all the leaders are over Beaches. They're flowing over, and not a single faller at Beaches Brook, with the field led now by Artie Marvel on the outside of Staccato. Fabulous is behind that, and Double Jack, then Hadjar and Wilburine and Greenways as they jump the next, and all over the next, and the back marker still Tipolino as they head for the canal turn, with Staccato on the inside of Artie Marvel. Fabulous third, Hadjar fourth, then Double Jack and Wilburine and Greenways and Fortina's Express and Mark Pittman on West Giro as they jumped the canal turn, and Hadjar made a small mistake, and Bashful Lad made a mistake, and Abramont made a bad mistake, but they're all over it and face up to Valentine's Brook, with Fabulous on the inside of Staccato and Artie Marvel on the outside, then Greenways and Wilburine, and behind that Hadjar, then Double Jack and Fortina's Express as we rejoin John Hanmer.
And Tipolino, last year's winner, is a long way back as they come to the fifth last. Staccato led it over it from Fabulous, then Greenways, Artie Marvel on the outside, then Wilburine Points Pass, then Hadjar and Fortina's Express and Mr. Snugfit as they come to the last ditch, four from home, and Fabulous on the inside. Greenways is a faller, but all the others are over safely except for the back markers, and as they go to the third last, it's Staccato from Artie Marvel. And Tipolino, another faller, but Artie Marvel over first from Staccato, then Fabulous, Hadjar, Wilburine Points Pass, Captain Parkhill, and as they go across the Melling Road with two to jump, it's Artie Marvel from Staccato, then Hadjar, then Fabulous, Wilburine and Points Pass as we join Peter O'Sullivan.
Yes, it's Artie Marvel in the lead, just 2 fences left to jump, but a long way to run. Second is Staccato, then comes Fabulous, then Hadjar, who's still making very good progress. Just in behind them come Captain Parkhill, who's beginning to get on terms with Points Pass also, then Wilburine, and then Romany Count. And you can count the others out of it now as they run down to the second last in this Kaltenberg Pills. Artie Marvel from Staccato, still making ground is Captain Parkhill. Fabulous just in behind him, Points Pass delivering a challenge too as they come to the second last fence now. Artie Marvel lands in the lead and very nearly gone there. Artie Marvel, Fabulous in the sheepskin noseband takes it us now as they come to the final fence. It's Fabulous in the lead now from Staccato, then Captain Parkhill, then Romany Count still making ground on the inside. Fabulous and Staccato, Staccato just the leader there. Staccato, Fabulous, and on the far side Romany Count now with Fabulous, then Staccato, then Captain Parkhill, then Artie Marvel. These five as they race towards the elbow. It's Fabulous on the near side, on the left of the picture as we see them. On the right it's Romany Count. Romany Count on the far side, they're inside the final furlong. Fabulous is next, then comes Artie Marvel and Staccato, and it's Fabulous and Romany Count as they race into the closing stages. Fabulous is holding Romany Count. Artie Marvel delivering a challenge again, but as they come to the line, Fabulous is going to hold them all at the line. Fabulous is the winner and Artie Marvel is second, and third is Romany Count. Four is Captain Parkhill in a photo with Staccato, and behind them Wilburine and Mr. Snugfit, and then Late Night Extra who made good progress, then Bashful Lad behind them, Points Pass, then comes behind him Major Knight. Behind Major Knight is Fortina's Express and Hadjar and Jocks Bond and West Giro. These are all finishers, and also Double Jack, and so there is half-brother to the former Grand National winner Grittar, and the representative of course this year once again of Frank Gilman and John Frankham, and they're being called in. And this looks like a go. Oh, the starter calls them back. You'll be lucky to get him. The Caldwell case is gone, but they've all been restrained all right. They've been broken the tape. And the starter wants to go back and form a more perfect line for this Hague Foxhunters Chase, which was won by Grittar himself in 1981. Gale warning, shortened further, 2-1. 2-1 favourite. Starter telling him to stay where they are. And this looks like it. Is he going to let him go this time? Yes, they're away. Caldwell Case just planted a little bit there, got rather slowly away, but there's plenty of time to make up ground now as they come to the first with Highway Duel, one of the early leaders. Highway Duel from Roadhead and Larry Mack and Roman Barr, and right up with them is a mistake there by Barleydale. Blackavar right up with them too. Coming to the next, and Freddie B has come right up to join him and dispute the lead now. Freddie B, Talon, Reliable Robert over on the far side, and they're all safely over the second. All 17 standing as they come to the chair. Freddie B from Reliable Robert and Talon and Mauritius, and then Blackavar and Roman Barr and Larry Mack, and Freddie B's gone there. Freddie B a faller, and also a faller Roman Barr. Those two have gone, and Reliable Robert is left in the lead at the water from Talon. Then comes Blackavar in third. Mauritius is on the inside. Behind him is Larry Mack. Behind Larry Mack is Highway Duel as they swing left-handed. Caldwell Case is next, and then a previous winner, the 82 winner, Lone Soldier, following them. But as they run down across the Melling Road, it's Reliable Robert clear of Talon, then Blackavar on the outside, Mauritius on the inner, Larry Max following them, and Caldwell Case, and over to John Hanmer.
They've crossed the Melling Road, and the next fence is the fifth, and Reliable Robert is in the lead with Talon in second place. Blackavar is third. Then Mauritius just in behind them with Caldwell Case. The loose horse, Freddie B, jumping, and Mauritius has gone there. Mauritius made a very bad mistake, gave his rider no chance, and it's Reliable Robert coming to the sixth in the lead from Talon in second place. Then Larry Mack, Caldwell Case, then Barleydale, who's improved after an early mistake, then Lone Soldier going well as they come to the open ditch. Reliable Robert over clear from Caldwell Case, Talon, Larry Mack, Barleydale, then Glen Carey, gale warning on the outside, then comes Lone Soldier and Polaro going to the next. Reliable Robert in the lead as we join Julian Wilson.
And Blackavar was another faller at the fifth, and Reliable Robert is well clear from Caldwell Case on the inside of Larry Mack as they come to the one before Beechers, and Reliable Robert jumps in with a 10-length advantage from Caldwell Case. Talon on the inside, Larry Mack towards the outside with Barleydale. Gale warnings right on the wide outside. Glen Carey is coming on the stand side as they come down to Beechers Brook, and the clear leader is Reliable Robert. Reliable Robert over, makes a mistake, but his rider gets away with it. Caldwell Case over in second, gale warning is third, and Larry Mack, and they're all over Beechers. Tote makes a mistake, and a faller at the back of the field was Highway Duel as they jumped the one after Beechers, and Reliable Robert still clear over it from Caldwell Case. Then Larry Mack behind that, then gale warning and Talon, then Glen Carey. And Highway Duel's jockey back on his feet and is all right as the leader comes to the canal turn, and that is Reliable Robert, well clear, and flies over it from Larry Mack over in second. Then Caldwell Case behind that. Jumping up on the inside is Gale Warning, then Lone Soldier getting closer, then Talon and Glen Carey and Barleydale and Polaro as they jump the next. Reliable Robert from Larry Mack in second, then Gale Warning and Caldwell Case. Glen Carey making ground all the time, then Lone Soldier and Talon and Polaro and Barleydale as we rejoin John Hanmer.
Over the fifth last, Reliable Robert over in the lead, and Larry Mack a faller. In second place now is Gale Warning, then Caldwell Case. Behind him is Lone Soldier, Glen Carey, Talon, then Polaro and Barleydale and Roadhead over the last ditch, four out. Reliable Robert over first from Gale Warning in second place, Caldwell Case third, Lone Soldier four, then Glen Carey, Talon, Polaro, Barleydale and Roadhead, and this is the third last, and Gale Warning has almost joined Reliable Robert, then Lone Soldier, Caldwell Case, Glen Carey, Talon, then Polaro, Roadhead, Barleydale, who made another mistake, and as they go across the Melling Road with two to jump, it's Gale Warning from Lone Soldier, then Glen Carey, then Reliable Robert and Caldwell Case, and they're clear, but Gale Warning the favourite in the lead, and over to Peter O'Sullivan.
Yes, Gale Warning from the 1982 winner Lone Soldier with Jim Wilson and Glen Carey getting closer all the time in third. Then comes Reliable Robert, and then Caldwell Case, then quite a gap to Talon. Behind Talon, incidentally, is Polaro, and then comes Roadhead, who's giving Margaret Wilson a tremendous ride. Coming down now to the second last fence in the Foxhunters. Gale Warning and Lone Soldier. Gale Warning on the inside, Lone Soldier on the outer. Gale Warning and Lone Soldier, there's nothing between the two as they race towards the last now. Gale Warning, who was runner-up last year, trying to go one better. Lone Soldier was the 82 winner, trying to win it again at the final fence now in the Hague Foxhunters. Gale Warning lands marginally in the lead there, goes through the top but keeps his position. Lone Soldier is second and challenging again. Then comes Caldwell Case in third, and then Glencarry. They're racing towards the elbow now, and on the near side it's Gale Warning, on the far side it's Lone Soldier. Gale Warning from Lone Soldier now as they race towards the furlong pole. They're past the furlong marker. Gale Warning the favourite in the lead from Lone Soldier. Talon is finishing well, and so is Caldwell Case, but these two have it between them and racing up towards the line. Gale Warning is going to win the Hague Foxhunters Chase of 1984. Gale Warning is the winner, and second is Indian Call, and Talon is going to be third ahead of Polaro. The 1, 2, 3, 4, Gale Warning, Lone Soldier, Talon, Polaro. Behind them came Glencarry, and behind Glencarry was Caldwell Case, and behind Caldwell Case, Reliable Robert, the long-time leader, and the last to finish, in fact, was Barley Day.
Kells going through in the Stripes, a horse that is so similarly coloured to Beacon Time. Be very difficult to sort these two out, but I'm sure it won't fox Peter at all. Kilkilo in 12 stone going across the picture. Number 2, 14ers Express. He didn't like the fences last year, and the two colours there almost similar apart from the hat, and that is Eggnog and King Spruce. Burnt Oak, the second favourite, and he will be fairly rattling any second now. Let's see how they bet.
And Burnt Oak still the clear favourite, 6 to 1. 14ers Express 13 to 2. Kilkilloan and Smith's Man 8 to 1. Incidentally, that Burnt Oak is a new favourite, 6 to 1 Burnt Oak. Richardstown 10s, Daltmore and Points Pass 11 to 1. Run to Meet 12s. Book of Kells still 14 to 1.
And that's it. They're running 18 fences to be jumped this time and racing towards the first, and King Spruce is one of the first to show. King Spruce within the centre of the course. Burnt Oak over on the far side in the centre of the course, Richardstown, and as they jump the first, Burnt Oak lands in the lead from Richardstown. Kilkilloan is right up there with them, and they're all safely over the first, all 21 over the first. They come down to the second now. Burnt Oak over on the far right of the picture from Kilkilloan right up there with Richardstown and Run to Me behind them, and then comes Points Pass, and they're all over the second, and racing down now towards the chair with Burnt Oak with the advantage from Kilkilloan. Then comes Eggnog, Smith's Man on the far side. On the near side is Richardstown, then Points Pass and Run to Me. Burnt Oak lands in the lead from Kilkilloan in second. A faller there is Eggnog. Eggnog's a faller, and King Spruce has gone as well. Coming down to the water, and Burnt Oak is the leader from Kilkilloan in second. Just behind Kilkilloan is Richardstown, and then Run to Me and Points Pass, and then Smith's Man. Then 14ers Express. The back marker at the moment is Daltmore. So as they pass the Grand National start and make their way down towards the Melling Road, Burnt Oak is the clear leader from Kilkilloan, Run to Me, Richardstown on the outside, Smith's Man on the inner. Just in behind them come Points Pass, and then a gap to 14ers Express. They cross the Melling Road. Burnt Oak clear, and over to John Hanmer.
And Burnt Oak has a clear lead from Kilkilloan as they cross the Melling Road. Run to Me is third, Richardstown is fourth, 14ers Express creeping up towards the outside. Points Pass is close behind the leaders, and so is Smith's Man. They're at fence number 5 now. Burnt Oak jumps it well in the lead. All the leaders over safely. Knockhill landed a bit steep, but they're all right as they come to fence number 6. Burnt Oak on the inside from Kilkilloan, Run to Me, then Richardstown, Points Pass, Smith's Man, 14ers Express, Master Tercel, then St Alice Anne and Romany Count, and they're all over that. But coming to the next big ditch, Burnt Oak swishes his tail, jumps it well. Kilkilloan over second, then Richardstown third, Smith's Man 4. A faller there towards the back was Galleon Beach, and another faller was Richard Pittman's former mount, Shamrock Bridge, as we join Julian Wilson.
And still Burnt Oak, the horse who blazed the trail in the Grand National last year. He's pressed by Richardstown towards the outside. Kilkillowen is still well there as they come to the one before Beeches, and Burnt Oak is down. A crashing fall, Burnt Oak, but all the rest of them are over. And coming down to Beeches, that leaves Kilkillowen in the lead from Richardstown and Points Pass. Towards the outside is Run to Me and Richard Dunwoody. Behind those is the grey Smith's Man as they come to Beeches Brook. And over Beeches, Kilkillowen, Richardstown, Points Pass. The leaders all over. Knockhill pecked slightly on landing, but everything that's still on its feet is over Beeches. Doubtmore is last over it as they jump the one after the 23rd fence. Kilkillowen over from Richardstown and Points Pass, and Smith's Man, the grey, on the inside going well. Then Run to Me on the outside of 14ers Express. Behind that is Master Tercel and Romney Count. Then a gap back to St. Alazan and Abo Ace as they come to the canal turn. Kilkillowen, the top weight, over it from Points Pass, and Smith's Man on the inside. Richardstown and Robert Earnshaw towards the outside. Then back to 14ers Express, creeping his way towards the leaders. Run to Me is after that, and Master Tercel and Romney Count as they jump Valentine's Brook. And all the leaders over Valentine's Brook. Up front, Kilkillowen from Richardstown on the outside of Points Pass, then Smith's Man, then a gap back to 14ers Express and Run to Me as we rejoin John Hammer.
And that was 5 from home, and Kilkillowen the leader from Points Pass and Richardstown, then Smith's Man, Run to Me, 14ers Express, Master Tercel, St. Alazan, and then Romney Count, the last ditch, 4 out, and Kilkillowen over first, and Richardstown a faller there. Richardstown went at that, and as they go to the third last, Run to Me was another faller, but they're at the third last now. It's Kilkillowen over first from Points Pass, over first.